It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
You gotta celebrate rather than just be miserable. We have beaten the Big Wind, Big Hair Industrial Complex, at least this time around. Phil Murphy is outraged. Scathing statement. The Dane's saying, you dopes, we took your money and we're not going to do anything here in New Jersey. I'm even wearing a hat. Dan, where do people go? I can only put up with a hat for maybe 30 more seconds. No, a couple of minutes a day. It's the Protect Our Shore hat.
You join the dark side. I love it. YouTube.com/@12WPHT. Go like and subscribe and look at Dom's beautiful Protect Our Coast set that he's got on his head today. Fantastic day, Dom.
My hair will suffer, but you know what? It's a wild day. It's almost windswept to here. I can feel it here in the studios. Here's what President Trump tweeted out just moments ago to Jeff Van Drew. Congratulations to a great Jeff Van Drew for his perseverance and success in defeating the horrendous Orsted Ocean Wind 1 and 2 projects, which were to be built off the coast of South Jersey. This monstrosity required massive government subsidies and ultimately just didn't work. The whales, which are dying in record numbers because of these wind scams, are very happy tonight. Can you imagine? We should have audio of Trump saying that. Way to go, Jeff. The people
It's crazy. You can hear the whales and dolphins cheering.
They're cheering on Trump. The people of New Jersey love you. All right, well, Jeff Van Drew had a lot to do with this, without a doubt. But let me take my hat off to salute the guy who marshaled the ground forces, even somehow or another got Frazier to Mulligan's to serve beer and to talk wind. Kelsey Grammer. Let's go to ProtectOurCoastNJ.com's own and Ocean City School Board member, Robin Schaefer. Robin, welcome in. Take us to that moment. Where were you when you got the news?
Hey, Dom. So last night was Halloween night, and I was just sitting around celebrating a little bit with some friends, and had no idea that this was coming. And the phone started ringing off the hook. America's best congressman, I have to say, hats off to Jeff Van Drew. He called last night congratulating all the grassroots organizations, Protect Our Coast, New Jersey. And I said, right back at you, because Jeff Van Drew, without him, without making this front and center, I think Ocean Wind 1 and 2 might still be, in the cards. But we all work together, including you, Dom and Dan. I mean, you guys have, and your listeners have made this issue known. As soon as people learned about it and they started to hear about the whales and the dolphins dying and how much this was going to actually cost the ratepayers and the taxpayers, nobody liked it, except a very, very small few with, maybe one guy sitting in a large mansion or a villa in Italy, and who has political ambitions way beyond New Jersey. You could tell he was throwing a little temper tantrum last night with that statement. That was great.
And Robin, I might add, this is going to play out in the upcoming elections. The people that own this, that went down the pike with this, there's a huge bill for the taxpayers of New Jersey. Are they going to hold people who blocked it for the reasons we talked about, or are they going to hold accountable those who didn't listen to the will of the people, wouldn't have a moratorium, and continued to tell us, including the Philadelphia Inquirer, those dead whales, don't look at them over there. And Robin, I have to commend you too, though, of pivoting after the initial thing. Sadly, the whales help. Emotionally, people sense something. That's happening now, but to project in the future what it would be like with the Jersey Shore with these monstrosities, I'm convinced in the end, that got a lot of people to go, oh my God, look at what these maniacs are going to do.
Yeah, it's economic. The consequences would have been catastrophic to the Jersey Shore. people would have turned away. They don't want to look at skyscrapers on the horizon. They want to look at a clean ocean. And these wind towers would not have been a clean ocean. There was nothing clean about them. And when you said we're pivoting, we're actually pivoting now, even now, because this is offshore wind is not dead in New Jersey, unfortunately.
Right.
So we're
Right.
going to enjoy this moment, but we're also going to realize that Atlantic shores up to our north, they're still planning 3 phases of these monstrosities in North Jersey and off the coast of New York, up to 357, 120 in the first phase, 1,000-foot tall wind turbines. It's insanity. So we're going to continue the fight. We are going to continue to raise money. We're going to continue to file lawsuits. We're going to get people motivated. We're going to stop this. I'll tell you what, Ørsted knew that they were losing huge money on this, and their stock has dropped 80%.
Wow.
And they have to answer to their shareholders. So they pulled out. They made an intelligent move. And now the other companies that are involved in offshore wind in New Jersey ought to take notice. They ought to pay heed. And they also ought to notice that Governor Murphy threw Ørsted under the bus. He said they lacked credibility and competence.
Yeah.
Can you imagine any company wanting to come to New Jersey knowing that the governor could throw them under the bus like that?
In a heartbeat. Yeah, didn't even mess up his hair in doing that. So, Robin, let me call upon you as somebody to, because I am big on this with our audience and to get things done rather than just complaining about things. The lesson of it that I see here is this is a textbook of activism, like those women who lay down in the street of Ocean City. Now, it's proper to arrest them as they were when this was going through, but their commitment to this was second to none. It's not just one political side that should be active, learn how to protest, learn how to inform people as you're doing. It's a textbook to learn from, and in an appropriate way.
Absolutely. I have to commend those women who were willing to put their freedom on the line because they knew this was wrong. They knew that offshore wind is a bad gamble. It's bad for everybody, bad for the whales, bad for business. So they actually were willing to get arrested. My hat's off to them as well. They did. And what you're saying is right. We have, through grassroots efforts, thousands of New Jerseyans have said enough, and they've stood up to City Hall, and actually we're winning this battle because it just shows you what can happen when enough people who are committed get together and they do something. And this is not a partisan issue. There are Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians,
Exactly.
Everybody got together and said, you know what, we want a clean ocean. We want answers. We don't want people just parroting an old phrase, follow the science, or, climate emergency and all this other stuff, because they could see right through it. They realized this is not what Governor Murphy is selling. This is not what the Biden administration is selling. They could see the truth for themselves, and they acted upon it.
Tremendous. Well, it's going to be quite a celebration now. Again, tell people a week from tomorrow, I'm even more energized. I had one thing prepared there, but now I've started to pivot to some other arguments for your big event, your annual banquet at the Flanders Hotel in Ocean City, starting the happy hour, and it will be a happy hour around 6. Ro and I are hoping to be there at 6:30.
Question is, are you bringing a Carvel Fudgy the Whale cake with you?
You know what? That is appropriate.
Please do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you
was
know
a
what?
Czar of Trenton. I stole that from him. But
You know what?
great suggestion,
That should
brother.
be the I'm not a fan of the ice cream cake, Dan, but you know what? I violate all rules when people that are to bring it there.
I love that Robin is Aquaman,
Yeah.
right?
Ooh,
Saving
good.
the fish and
We're
the saviors
past Halloween,
everywhere.
aren't we?
But
Yeah.
the dolphins, the whales, all thank you today, Robin. Thank you.
But Robin, this is such a thrill for you. You have been on the front of this Just think of this with listeners too, where this has gone when we first met you, and then met you at Mulligan's, and then Kelsey Grammer coming along on this tour. You can't write this stuff. They never had a chance. But really, it is bigger than City Hall. I mean, it's the infrastructure at the highest levels in New Jersey that were involved in this, and they were just going to shove it through. Guys like Testa, the other Mike down at the shore. The slow game, it told us, draw them out, make them have to sweat for this, and they're not going to be able to last.
Absolutely, you're right. Mike Donahue has
Yep.
been an amazing ally in this. He's pushed so hard. He was in the press release that Jeff Van Drew put out today. Judge Donahue is going to be at the banquet as well. And I can't say enough about our great Assemblyman Eric Simonson and Antoine McClellan. They've been on the front lines too. We've had so much support. Our council has been great, our mayor. So the banquet is, if people want to get tickets, they can still go on to protectourcoastnj.com and buy tickets for the banquet, which is next Thursday. Like you said, it's 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I'm so excited. I mean, I'm going to, when we get off, I'm going to contact Kelsey's, his assistant, and just, give her the good news to pass on to Kelsey, because he was a part of this too. I mean, so many people came together.
Without a doubt. If Kelsey wants to come on with you too at any point, we're always open for a few beer stories, a few impersonations, and some wind talk. Yeah, I have to thank you, Robin, too. You get it. The fun of talk radio mixed in with the seriousness. We're talking about all kinds of serious things with Kelsey Grammer, but he's dusting off French fries as we're doing it at Mulligan's. You can't write it any better than that.
Yeah, no, it's been an awesome experience. This movement just is getting bigger and stronger, and you guys are awesome. I mean, I even love the flipper noises in the background. Thanks, Dan.
Well, Robin, who knows what'll happen between now and Thursday, but we'll be in touch, and I'll see you on Thursday.
That sounds great, Dan. And Dom, thank you so much, and I will see you next Thursday.
Thanks, Robin Schaefer. And notice the pivot right away to the other wind industrial complex coming into other parts of Jersey. It ain't over till it's over, and it's never over. You got to celebrate a little bit, though. Too much in talk radio, Dan. I say this a lot. People just want to, look at this. We can't win this. We can. Doesn't mean every battle. Doesn't mean progressives are going to go away. I got a story today. Jim Garrity, Dan, writes for National Review. And guess what the other side is doing, the Hamas defending side? They're putting out, and I'll read you some of this commentary on their various social media and this Daily Dot, it's called. They're claiming people putting up the Israeli hostage photos of kids that was done by an artist, by the way, I believe. They're putting them in spots to lure Palestinian supporters or Palestinians to rip them down, knowing that other Jews will then fire them. This is what they're saying. So we're luring people in to this savage act of just walking along and ripping down those posters. This is some sport for them. We know how to do it. They're telling their brothers, ease up on this. It's all a trap. We're baiting them. Can you just imagine the conspiracy mindset of this, of people ripping these down? They're ripping them down because it feels good, because they don't want to see that side of it. They don't want to know about it. It's no trap to bait them to see who's going to do it. My God. All right, I'd love to get your reaction. 855-839-1210. Robin said it beautifully, the lesson of all this stuff. Coming up, my alma mater, LaSalle, is at it again, and Dan's gotten the person on today who really opened up about LaSalle and Hamas again. Yes, LaSalle University, not Cornell, not Berkeley, not NYU or Columbia, all the usual suspects, but LaSalle. I'll explain that story too. Side question today, though. Yes, Dan.
Sorry, I just wanted to give a fun fact from Gmail. So we're live on youtube.com/@12NWPHD, as we are every day, dining with Dom. And there's a commenter that comes in every day that goes by the name of Gmail. He says, fun fact, there are documented cases of dolphins saving people from sharks. Just a little off-topic fact there for you.
Okay. All right.
So we're just paying it back.
Yeah, well,
the
dolphins. All right. There were dolphins, too, in this, not just the whales. Even the Philadelphia Inquirer says stuff in a stinging blow to the Murphy administration. The Inquirer wrote that? Wow. Of course, then they take shots and say fossil fuel was behind it. Republicans were behind it. You know, that kind of thing. But you got Trump jumping on this. The whales are happy, Jeff. Keep it up. Meanwhile, we'll cover that drama in the courtroom. Dan, I was picturing DJ and Luke having to testify about me. Can you imagine? Dan being called in. No, not Dan. Maisie takes the stand. Maisie, what do you know about Dom
This
Giordano
man drives with 2 feet. You can't trust anything he says.
That was another side question. Don't spoil that one yet. We'll get to that. But today's side question, the underdogs won here. There is no doubt, and it is a big underdog. All that nonsense about fossil fuels and all, big win, big hair with Murphy, all these Democrats. And they're going to have to triple their abortion ads now because people are going to say, well, who's going to pay for all this nonsense that you gave Orsted? We know who's going to pay. The taxpayer in New Jersey. Hit us with that all-time underdog that was successful at some level. I'm going to take the 300 Spartans off the board.
How about a moment? Can we do that? Like the underdog moment?
Or a moment, right.
Yeah, so 300 Spartans for you. I'm going to take Mighty Ducks beating Iceland. In the Mighty Ducks film, as we
real
know,
or
it's my
fictional?
film.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take fictional too. And how about the Jamaican bobsled team? Both
that is a real fun. Real and fictional. I'm going to take Rocky off. You're not going to win with Rocky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like high.
Which moment in Rocky though are you talking about? When do you think he finally accomplished an underdog and became the guy?
I think even by the end of Rocky 1, he did. No, for me, the scene is, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know if Jim knows it, where
Jim's on there.
He says to Adrian, not about winning. If I'm left standing at the end of it, though, I'm not just another bum from the neighborhood. And I agree with that. It's not just about winning. It's about never surrendering. That's the key thing.
It's not about winning. It's about me when just standing up at the end. But the other great inspiring message is
Jim, you didn't have a whole lot of Rocky there. It was a good impression, but not
bailed out pretty quickly
there. There's another great scene though. If you ever seen the Rocky Balboa movie,
oh yeah,
he's telling his kid, "Let me tell you something right now that you already know. The world ain't no sunshine and roses. It's a mean, nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It's going to beat you permanently. But it ain't how hard you could hit. It's about how you can get hit and keep moving forward."
Beautifully done. Jamie, really, he's got it word by word.
And got our faces down.
And it was a better impression the second time around than the first. Yeah.
I love the one scene in the movie, though, where he's there with that girl.
Right.
And and these guys outside the bar just giving her a bad time. And she's like, "It's okay." "Nah, little Marie. It ain't all right." "Yo, what? Come here. I'll tell you what." And he gets a guy and he slams him up against the wall with one hand and goes, "Yeah, apologize. You get a job."
Yeah, Phil Murphy, and get some teeth to work. Get some dental work. All right, 855-839-1210. If you can't feel the pulse now, then you got no pulse. Jump on board AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Just push pound 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I don't know your name, but what movie did we play for you, sir?
Is it Saw X?
We still got the movie wrong. How many times do we have to go through with this? Here's what I'll do. I'm going to give the movie. I'm going to give it away. The first person who listens to me give you the answer. Just call in and you get the prize. I don't need to go to the gym today because I just sweated off about 800 calories yelling. We got 16 producers here today. And this is like going to Harvard Med.
Awesome.
Oh.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Bringing in your front line is as easy as 1, 2, key.
SEPTA Key Advantage is a unique and valuable transit benefit program that gives your employees all-day, everyday access to the entire SEPTA system. That means your staff can get in for their first, second, or third shifts and even travel the system on their off hours, seamlessly and affordably, all thanks to you. Learn how easy it is to customize a SEPTA Key Advantage program for your team at septa.org/partner programs. That's septa.org/partner programs.
Hey, this is Norman Chaikin, also known as Norman the Floorman. I was running a dating service for chickens, but I was struggling to make ends meet. Calling all developers, investors, house flippers, and savvy shoppers. I'm selling plush carpet at 99 cents per square foot. I haven't sold carpet that cheap since 1969. Visit us online at normancarpet.net or visit our Bryn Mawr or Conshohocken showroom. Call for a free home estimate and, oh yes, 48-hour installation available. That's 800-220-RUGS.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Calling on Harleysville to follow 1210 WPHT in the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano Show, 855-839-1210. Coming off this Orsted win, all-time underdogs are the moment, real or fictional. The moment would be great. The moment that you want to headline.
I say that because Rocky is like an all-time underdog, but he has like 5-6 moments where he accomplishes that underdog task and achieves his goal. So yeah, moments to narrow it down a little bit.
Okay, we're going to have on today a professor who now has put herself on leave from LaSalle University, my alma mater. Maybe last time we talked about LaSalle, a lot of people, it was their alma mater or their kids went there. Apparently, LaSalle tweeted out inviting people to come to a gathering to call for an end to the violence and acts of terrorism against innocent Israelis and Palestinians. Wait a minute. That's what this woman said. And I say, what acts of terrorism, LaSalle, Christian Brothers, against Palestinians? What acts of terror? Who's committing terror on the Palestinians? So this professor who will be with us raised a stink about this. Daniel J. Allen, LaSalle president, met with her and apologized, and the university took down the post. But he declined to issue a correction or state publicly why the university pulled it down. Yo, Daniel J. Allen. I don't know. Is he a brother, Dan? I'm not sure. He might be. Or the Christian Brothers. You put it up there. Okay, just tell us why you're taking it down after talking with this professor. Why don't you have the guts to do that? We know why. You're scared to death of some PC crowd there at LaSalle or alums or the Muslim Student Association. The powerlifting club might go on the warpath again and support Hamas again. Isn't that right, Christian Brothers? Come on the show. Come on the show and tell us why you wouldn't see that. Dan, they're supposed to be the ultimate teachers. That's what they pride themselves on. Okay? That's their mission. Tell us then why that's not a teachable moment. Why is it not a teachable moment to explain? In explaining, you could say, look, we didn't mean to imply the Israelis are committing acts of terrorism. The construction of that tweet's a little bit off. We're not saying the people of Israel, the Israelis, are committing terrorism. No, they don't want to say that. They got caught again. Maybe, Christian Brothers, you ought to stay off Twitter. Whoever's doing your Twitter for you gets it, what the deal is. Equivocation. The closer we get to this, we have all kinds of sound today of people saying, well, how many casualties in Gaza before America has to say, stop it, Israel, you have to have a ceasefire? Well, the answer is, to me, That's not what it's about. It's about getting Hamas and dealing a death blow, if possible, to Hamas. That's what it's about. And if you're telling us, well, you're not going to do that, then what you're saying is we just have to put it. Listen to Blinken. Now, this is Blinken, the Secretary of State. It's not some conservative. This is testimony yesterday. Listen to what he laid out, and I commend him for this, that he didn't just talk in generalities, Dan. Here's what Anthony Blinken said yesterday, Secretary of State, about what we know to be a fact of just one incident of what this group of Hamas savages did. And picture this, hate to be graphic, but it's necessary. Maybe the Christian brothers are listening. They'll have some sense after they hear this.
Just a warning if you're listening with a kid in the car.
Yeah, no kid in the car. Yeah, or wherever. Yeah, make sure you do that.
Including, and if you'll forgive me, because again, these stories recede so quickly. A family at its breakfast table at one of the kibbutzes. And by the way, the profound irony of attacks on kibbutzes, the very people who most ardently believe and want a future of peace between Israelis and Palestinians, a future of two states. A family of four, a young boy and girl, 6 and 8 years old, and their parents around the breakfast table. The father, his eye gouged out in front of his kids. The mother's breast cut off. The girl's foot amputated. The boy's fingers cut off before they were executed. And then their executioners sat down and had a meal. That's what this society is dealing with. And no nation could tolerate that. And as we've said repeatedly, as President Biden has repeatedly made clear, Israel has not only the right, but the obligation to defend itself and to try to take every possible step to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, how about over at LaSalle taking the step to put it up and saying, stop it already? What kind of education are you getting here? Well, the Israelis are committing terrorist acts also. My God. This is a religious institution, a known for its teaching cred institution. You'll hear that professor at 2:00 today who called them on this and said, what you have to do, take down the tweet and then explain on Twitter or send out an email to the entire community why you took down that tweet. Why can't LaSalle say that? We know why they can't say it. Israelis are doing things like this. Can you just imagine the just demonic savagery of this? You know, I never say, I always just say, execute these people. We don't engage in torture, tit for tat. But boy, the crew that did this, my God, can you imagine the agony of that family before they died? Can you imagine the people defending this stuff on college campuses and the Omars and Talibs? Let's face it, deep down, they're defending all this stuff. This is the battle. Not for the faint of heart. We have to beat them. We have to remove them from public life at the ballot box. And we have to direct American power to push back against this evil in the world. And that's Anthony Blinken. It's not talk radio. It's not Mark Levin, Dom Giordano. It's no. It's Blinken saying that. Good for him. His choice, Dan, of Halloween costumes, having his kid come to the White House. Did you see this?
No.
The kid's only 4, and he has him dressed as Zelensky.
Oh.
And the daughter, I think is 3 or something, is dressed in a Ukrainian flag. I mean, Mike, does politics ever end? And what are you going to be for Halloween, Zelensky? Oh, man. They want more money for Ukraine. You know that. But in this, he was right on the money. All right, coming up, another win. Jim Worthington, exercise guy extraordinaire, mastermind in the best sense of the word, organizer of various events you may remember, supporting President Trump. It was the coordination. They have car caravans and the like. Well, he's been under fire. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or is it today, came down. Yep, embargoed until November 1st. A liberal activist, a group, publicly apologized as part of a settlement in a January 6th defamation suit. It follows an apology by a Democratic congressional candidate running again this time. In other words, they defamed him by their nonsense around January 6th. And we have this public apology. I'll let Jim give you some of it. It is a tremendous moment, and he did the right thing. He's not suing them for $1 million or whatever. But for the record, clear the air a bit about January 6th and throwing stuff like that around. He is next. It's a huge day here. Another win. We'll get to him, too, and your calls. A lot of people have a good underdog. 855-839-1210. Let's talk, first of all, Rescue Natural Supplements, unprecedented Black Friday sale is back again. It's big. This year, the savings are bigger and better than ever. Right now, they're slashing prices on all supplements with discounts ranging from 50 to an incredible 80% off the total cost. Rescue has a wide array of products to address your health needs, including immunity and cholesterol support, heart health, and natural energy enhancers, 50% off omega-3s, probiotics, and so much more. And one more thing. This Rescue Black Friday sale will run the entire month of November. So shop today at res-q.com. That's res-q.com, or call a Rescue product consultant at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Again, all Rescue supplements are 50 to 80% off during the entire month of November. So why wait? Start shopping at res-q.com. Do it today.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Wherever the road takes you this holiday, make it memorable in the ultimate driving machine. Step into the BMW X5 with capable performance, cutting-edge technology, and unmistakable presence. Or chart a different course in the BMW X3. With style and powerful all-terrain versatility, there's no limit to your adventure. Find your ultimate BMW X3 or X5 at the Road Home sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Hurry in for a credit of up to $3,000 on select models now through November 30th. Visit BMWCenters.com today.
40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. With NJ Diet, it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work to personalize supplements that will target your hormonal imbalances so you can shed that fat. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or visit NJDiet.com. That's NJDiet.com.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands done. Leaves raked. It's time to give yourself a reward. You know you've been waiting all day for your favorite tasty cake treat, but which one? There are so many great choices. Is it the delicious Crimpet or the mouth-watering candy cake? No matter what you choose or where you are, it's always time for a tasty cake, so choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, except no substitutes.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free
Odyssey app. Almost too much winning here today, Dan. Jim Worthington is with us, and he has done this textbook, I believe, this defamation lawsuit of his. It goes back to this activist and Democrat Party activist and candidate now for Congress. They apologized to him for creating an online petition, which was widely interpreted as accusing him of sponsoring and organizing busloads of rioters to participate in violent attacks on January 6th on the U.S. Capitol. Let's go to Jim Worthington here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Jim, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations not only for the win, but the way you conducted what the settlement was.
Well, thanks, Dom. I'm grateful for the opportunity to get the word out because, you know, the 2.5 years since January 6th has been nothing but hell. And today's settlement is just doesn't make it go away. And now we got to get the word out, to let people know that it was not what they interpreted to be, that the Bullough petition that he did on the Move On site was misinterpreted by people accusing me of and thinking of me of busting people down to the Capitol, the riot. And, I need to get on as many sites as I can and talk to as many influential people like you to make sure people know that, I'm not that guy. I never was that guy that would do anything. And the Greg Bullough apology actually says that. I mean, he has learned more about me than probably 99% of the people that know me in the last couple of years through depositions and things like that. And to his credit, he has recognized the stuff that not only I do from the community, but my staff and my foundation Have a Heart, which helped got past the right to try and things like that. And he apologized for all the damage he did to me. So I appreciate you letting me be on today.
Well, and, particularly such an enterprise like yours, and since you're been a big supporter of President Trump, stuff like this can be incredibly damaging, although you succeed against all odds. But give us a sense of, Jim, what's that is like when it's out there, they get away with it. One is a candidate for Congress. I think she'll be the nominee against Fitzpatrick again, maybe. What's it like for someone that owns such a prominent business and be labeled as someone, I don't know if they use the word insurrection or not, but someone who's an insurrectionist? Not only that, a planner of insurrection is what this comes down to.
Well, I wouldn't wish it on my own worst enemies. I mean, it started when I was driving back from the ellipse on January 6th at 2:00 in the afternoon with threats on Facebook and texts and emails, and continued for the next 2 years. At short term, there was death threats. There was I needed police protection. I had to arm myself. My fiance at the time. My business was boycotted within days, lost $250,000 within a couple of days of losing all my advertisers, that they were threatened to be boycotted. They left me. Then over the course of the next year or two, my losses ran in the millions, with people leaving my club, believing this petition or misinterpreting this petition to say that, I sponsored these things and part of, even though I condoned it within a day, what happened with the violence at the Capitol, and anybody that, broke into the Capitol or physically confronted somebody, that it was wrong. But we lived in hell, and frankly, I still live in hell. I mean, if I go into a restaurant, I make sure my back's to the wall. I mean, I had Herschel Walker for an event in Newtown, Bucks County, a year and a half ago, and we went into a restaurant in Newtown, and we literally thought we're going to have to fight our way out because we got accosted by things. I think the people that were challenged him were crazy because Herschel Walker.
Yes, so wait a minute. I'm thinking about that, Jim. Whatever your politics are, and you are an incredibly fit-looking guy. I'm looking in at Dan, who's also incredibly fit.
Whoa.
And I'm surrounded. I'm picturing you inside of 6 months turning Dan into a fit individual. But man, you want to challenge Herschel Walker? Oh my God! You just can't imagine the craziness of this. Wow.
No, it really is. And I mean, the things that people would say and the disparaging comments, and no matter what I did and no matter who I advocated for, it would, it came back that I was this guy and I was an insurrectionist and I was a bad person and I should be in jail. And, literally you're fearful for your own personal self. My wife or fiance at the time, my friends, my employees, they were even people would go on sites and talk about my club, the Knack, and disparage my 12,000 members and say that they're bad people and they shouldn't be there.
My God.
It was beyond what you could imagine. And by the way, today is the beginning of hopefully the educating some of the people that, or a lot of people that still believe it. I mean, this is going to be a slow trickle. It could take years if we won't get to everybody, I can tell you, in my lifetime that still believe this, but we're doing everything we can to get the word out.
Now, Jim, do you still then in a public way, because you were impressive in how much you did for Dr. Oz? I witnessed that up close, just your club alone, that event. will you be working on some Trump campaign again, particularly if he's a nominee?
Well, I've kept it kind of low key, but the people that know me know that I'm still doing stuff. I had an event I don't know if you remember when the president was indicted in Miami back in, I guess it was May that day. That night, I co-hosted an event at Bedminster for him, a fundraiser, raised an awful lot of money.
You are back. I didn't know.
about a month ago, I co-hosted him with a couple other gentlemen in Lafayette Hill at the Union League Golf Course, where we raised significant seven-figure dollars. I was with the president this past weekend. Look, I'm not hiding from anybody. I mean, Friday I had dinner with him. At the end of the day, I'm a supporter of President Trump. I've always been. I originally got involved supporting him because of legislation he passed, which was the right to try. And in fact, I think if you saw in which allows terminally ill people the right to try experimental drugs, that's why I got involved. And in fact, part of my settlement was that Greg Bullock donated money to my friend Matt Bellina for his care. He has ALS. He's named on the right to try bill. That was not there was no compromise on that. That needed to be part of any settlement. And that, all this I think really came from my work with Matt on the right to try and getting that passed, and my support for the president. So that's why I felt it was symbolic that money needed to be something needed to be done for Matt. He's had ALS 7-8 years. He's struggling with his health. His wife Caitlin's beautiful, and
Jim, I wrote
it needed to be part of it.
Jim, I hear you, and look, I've said this publicly at our events. We honored you, etc. This is one of the biggest examples of what it means to be an American. That bill, and you were the driving force that got it passed. Of course, people know better than some group of scientists somewhere telling them what they can try if they're sick and maybe terminally sick. It is a major accomplishment. And I could see you talking to Trump, and Trump in his gut gets that of course Americans should be able to try to do what they want to save themselves. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you, Dom. Yeah, it was a big moment in my life. Linda Mitchell, who's my advocacy director, we worked together for 43 years. We talk about if I lived 100 more years, I don't think I could be involved in something as important for our nation as the right to try. So, look, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm going to continue to be a Trump supporter. But I will tell you this, people in America have the right to support whoever they want. And I think this is a lesson in the fact that, and I think everybody should, on both sides of the aisle, sort of realize that if you want to support President Biden, that's your right as an American. I'm not going to disparage you, and I have no right to do that. But I'm going to advocate as hard as I can, whether it be Herschel Walker, Dr. Oz, in this case, President Trump, and I'm not going to hide. And frankly, I think that's a little bit of the problem right now. And so everybody stands up, and particularly people that are maybe in a position that I am, that you could fight these things off better, or nobody likes to lose money, but at the end of the day, you got to put principle before profit, and I've done that. My dad taught me that, and I will continue to do that. I really will, and it's not easy though.
I'm picturing you there with Trump, though. So come on now. Are you going to get Trump into some fitness regimen? At least the Diet Coke obsession has to stop. Have him drink water.
Talk about living to 100. We need that guy to live to 100.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Jim.
You know what's amazing about the guy, and I've been doing this for 45 years, and before that I was an athlete, or somewhat of an athlete, played a little college football and stuff like that. He is one of those guys that is just an anomaly. I mean, he doesn't really exercise. He plays golf, and and most of the time, let's be honest, he drives in a cart. And he's not the healthiest eater. He likes his McDonald's, but somehow, everybody's got that one friend out of 100.
Yes.
That somehow, let me tell you, he's a physical guy. I mean, this stuff they say about him, like in terms of his, physical. Well, he's an athlete. You ever see him throw a ball or hit a tennis ball?
I haven't seen that, but look, I see his golf swing, and he gets the club back. I don't understand it because he's not anywhere near in shape, and he's able to turn and get a golf club back behind his head, Dan.
Quick question, Jim.
Yeah.
Notorious Trump hater Rick Riley put out a book about the commander-in-chief and how Trump golfs and how he drops his ball, takes mulligans. You probably golfed with the man himself. Can you verify whether or not he takes a lot of mulligans?
Well, first of all, I've watched him golf. I'm not a big golfer myself, but I've actually went around on the course with him a couple different times and for a number of holes. And I know people that have golf with him. He's the real deal. Look, is he improving his lie on a Tuesday afternoon when they're not, they're just hacking around? Sure. But at the end of the day, if he's got to play straight up rules, the guy, he's not only a golfer, he is an athlete. He really is. But,
I know the baseball.
So,
I know all that. Yeah. So
yeah.
So Jim, what's next? You've kind of laid out your advocacy through 2024. What's next? What's the next big thing over at the Newtown Athletic Club?
Well, we're just continuing to try to get back the members we lost during COVID, and a lot of the people that left us during the so-called insurrection charges. I mean, we've literally sent out letters to all those folks today. We've contacted thousands of people that left us saying, look, the record's been cleared, and it's time for you to know the truth, that none of this was true, that it was misinterpreted when the petition was misinterpreted, and you're welcome back. Look, I don't harbor any hard feelings at this point. It's been a long battle. The one person I'm a little bit disenchanted with is Ashley Ahaz. I have to be honest with you. Part of her settlement a year ago was to have lunch with me, and I wanted to break bread, and I wanted to, I wanted to clear the air, and I wanted to give her a chance to, to make good. I'm a Bucks County, and she wanted to represent our district.
Hey, Jim, might I suggest, and I would love to attend. That's the person running against Fitzpatrick, I guess. I suggest the Olive Garden.
Yeah,
come on, the Olive Garden.
Salad.
We already had the lunch. We already had the lunch. We had the lunch earlier this year, and so that was part of her settlement. She settled back like months ago, like 7 or 8 months ago. So this was part of Greg Bullock was just recently. So when I had the lunch with her, and I have to tell you, and there was representatives on both sides at that lunch for me and for her, and everybody walked away with the same thing, which was a disappointing lunch. I mean, I really wanted to make sure she understood who I was, and none of this was, even though she admitted that it wasn't true, and it was just, and frankly, it was very, very disappointing. And I can tell you, I'm not going to lie, I'm shocked that she's running again against Brian Fitzpatrick, because if somebody sends the olive branch to you to try to make things good, and which I didn't need to do, because my whole purpose was just to try to make peace.
Absolutely.
And she wanted no part of that. I mean, how do you represent half the constituents of Bucks County?
They don't care about that side of it, Jim, without a doubt. So listen, stay in touch with us, though, of the stuff you're doing, whatever. We miss having you on.
And before Jim goes, I just want to say this, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. We're always dining with Dom, and we're broadcasting this interview right now. And a commenter, Kevin, he just wrote in, the NAC is an absolutely amazing facility.
It's one of the best in the country, if not the best.
You guys have like a water park in the back. It's amazing. So just want to throw that out
there. I broadcast
by
the swimming pool there with people jumping in, Dan. It was a heck of a day. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, we have a phenomenal facility. We have a phenomenal staff and membership. But what we do most is our platform allows us to raise a lot of money. We give $1,000 or more every week to somebody. We typically give away $1 million plus a year. We allow our facilities to be used for fundraisers free of charge. It gives us a platform to do good for our world, our country. I've been blessed, and I am pleased to do it.
Jim, thank you.
That's what the NAC really is about.
Thank you, Jim,
right,
very
guys,
much.
Thank you.
It's always great having you.
Care.
Thank you, Jim. Now, one editor's note. Jimmy Matthews said, I should remind the guests that it's former President Trump. Thank you, Jimmy.
Oh, come on.
It's like Robert's Rules of Order. Jimmy Matthews sitting in there, critiquing the show, taking notes. We appreciate that. All right, 855-839-1210. 2 wins back-to-back. Who knows? We're not even out of the first hour yet.
He just also writes in, Jimmy Matthews, hey, Jim, Trump is no athlete! !
I'm telling you, I know golf swings, Dan. And if he ever takes me, if I ever take him up and he said, play golf with him, Dan, I'm going to bring in some coach, might be some rigging there. Might have to have Luke play too. Just
No
to
way
take
he's
his
going to
mind
let
off.
you win. Do you think Donald
Yeah.
Trump has ever lost a golf game?
I think he's about a 75. I think he's about a 3 or 4 handicap. He looks to me like at this point. I haven't seen him putt. And I don't like the outfit. You ever see the same outfit?
But I
he
feel like
wears?
he's the kind of guy, you get to the 17th hole and you're up by a couple of strokes, he's going to go pull the fire alarm like Jamal Bowman. It's like, oh, game over.
No, he has a real swing. You can see it, Dan. It's like a textbook type of thing. He was a baseball player, a pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I don't see him running more than a step. Let's see, Dan Borowski versus Trump
I
in
think I can confidently say
a
that
100-yard dash.
Donald Trump would beat me in a race.
I don't know about that.
No.
I put my money on Borowski on that one. All right, 855-839-1210. I'm coming to your calls next. For all seafood lovers who still haven't tried Captain Chucky's crab cakes, what are you waiting for? At Captain Chucky's, they're always trying to keep things new and fresh. If you haven't tried the new banging crab ravioli or lobster ravioli with their amazing blush sauce, now's the time. Also try Captain Chucky's brand new product, Philly Famous Clams Casino, mouth watering. Tremendous. Ask your local Captain Chucky's for availability. But then, of course, we have the staples. Several choices, breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. Dessert, soup, sides, appetizers, my personal favorite, the Dom roll. And they use only the highest quality ingredients. The golf shrimp, huge hit, always wild caught. It's never farm raised. Think of all the things coming up. We have Eagles football, Thanksgiving, into the holidays, crab cakes, shrimp. Oh, the shrimp for the holidays. You got to start with that. Visit one of Captain Chucky's locations everywhere. See the crew in Newtown Square, Westtown Farm Market, Mullica Hill Farm Market, Jason and Bridget Latier in Jameson, Tony and Jamie Parsons, Cinnaments, and the Vogelsang family in Runnymede. And in Ocean City, Chris and Donna Ryan and Seattle and the McCann family. Seattle and Ocean City open Fridays and Saturdays, noon till 5. Congrats to Sam Cancelleri, Irish Mike McGarry. The Medford location is now open. Northeast Philadelphia, Home Circle, now open. Congrats to the Graziani family. Remember, we love crabcakes.com. If you're headed to the Jersey Shore, Captain Chucky's at the shore.com.
Rich Zioli.
Dr. EJ and Tony, do you think she sounds like the serial killer from
He's
Silence
inside
of the
Trump.
Lambs?
Very involved, very vibrant.
What a waste of his talent. You have a well-respected economist in studio, and you're asking him to compare clips between Janet Yellen and the killer from Silence of the Lambs.
Alleged killer. He was never found guilty in court of law.
Depending on how the Senate testimony goes on Tuesday, the public may be getting more out of this segment than they will out of that.
Rich Zioli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Convicted union boss John Doherty is back in federal court today. He's facing a second trial on charges he embezzled thousands of dollars from Local 98. A 14-year-old was killed and 2 other teens were wounded when shots were fired during a large brawl on Halloween night. At least 110 dual nationals have crossed the Rafah border out of Gaza and into Egypt.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
The day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. As the store's owner, I want our clients treated with respect. I want our employees to have extensive product knowledge and be genuinely engaged with our clients. Our pricing is competitive, but our client attention is second to none. When considering a new car, consider Cherry Hill Volvo. Contact me directly. Relationships really do matter to us.
Virtua Health is here.
For you, all of you. Here for the run-of-the-mills, the out-of-the-blues. Here for everything in between. And with our Rowan University partnership, we're here, rethinking the way academic medicine feels. Welcome to a more convenient, smarter healthcare experience. And that's more good for everyone. Find a Virtua physician or location near you at virtua.org. Virtua Health, now more than ever, here for good.
This is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Free speech lives here.
Dom Giordano Show. All right, let's get one on the board on our side question with the big win over Orsted. All-time underdogs, or give us the moment. Just don't say in general. Hit us with the biggest underdog moment, if you can. Let's go to Sam in Bordentown. All right, Sam, who's yours?
I'd say Forrest Gump.
Okay, and what's the moment?
When he broke out of the braces running down the country road when the
yeah. Run, Forrest, run!
Yeah.
That's
a great answer.
I know
Sam.
how much Dan loves Forrest Gump.
I love it.
It is a masterpiece.
All-time best
Ginny,
soundtrack.
yeah, when he beats up the guy with Ginny there and they sit in the rain, yeah. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with one of the participants in the most important election race coming up next Tuesday. Well, right now, people can vote. Carolyn Carluccio with us, second or third time around, running for the Supreme Court. Think about the importance of what we just talked about with Jim. This is the race. This is the one that you have to tell people who are not observant, you got to vote in. All that, the big 1
Give me a
o'clock
prettier
hour.
song than this, Dom. Come on.
Yeah,
It's such a
it
beautiful
is.
song, Alan Silvestri.
Absolutely. It's Tom Hanks' greatest role, I think, without a doubt, here on Talk Radio 1210.
You're invited to witness a groundbreaking documentary, America's Retirement Dilemma, a documentary of Wall Street's rigged system, featuring powerful exclusive interviews such as the president and CEO of the leading analytics firm over Wall Street, Del Bar Incorporated, Lou Harvey, who explains why Wall Street is not set up to have a fiduciary duty to the everyday investor.
Wall Street is not set up to handle a fiduciary relationship. Too expensive to replace all of my compensation systems, retrain all of my people. The whole structure that's been built over the last 100 years would have to be turned on end. I would have to be brutally negative. We have an industry that has been built on caveat emptor, buyer beware.
Hear this and more exclusive interviews with powerful industry leaders, esteemed economists, and top researchers at the Spring Mill Manor, November 14th. Registration is required. Call Crash Proof Retirement, 800-722-9728.
The future of joint pain relief is right here in the Philadelphia region. QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. If you've been told that more steroids or surgery are your only options, not so fast. Get a second opinion. Learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. QC Kinetics does not mask the pain. These treatments go to the very core of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly into your joint, which repairs and restores that damaged tissue. Imagine living life, especially this fall, with no more pain in your knees, your aching shoulder, your back, your hips. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. Just call the local medical professionals, get a free consultation. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. 215-999-3000. Just call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. You know my mantra for the last year. I know one of the people involved with this race, and we've been honored to have one of the actual participants, President Judge out there in Montgomery County, Carolyn Carluccio, on the show before. And this, if the media did their job, this could be an interesting back and forth. The judge, Carluccio, believes in, I don't know if she uses the term, She's here, so she'll tell us originalism, black letter law, the Constitution. Her opponent, cavalierly to me, throws around living Constitution. What a stark difference. I think the media should zone in since they're doing interviews and ask questions about that. There's nothing more fundamental than that. All the abortion questions and all that constant stuff. Just think of the difference between those two positions. Let's go to Judge Carolyn Carluccio here on Talk Radio 1210. Judge, welcome back. Thank you very much. And that would be my wish in media coverage of this, to at length get the two of you to stake out that judicial philosophy, because that's what being on the Supreme Court will turn on, how you're going to view all these cases that come up.
You really hit the nail on the head, Dom, as you always do. A Supreme Court justice's job, and any judge in this Commonwealth, their job is to understand the law, apply the law, and uphold our Constitution. And our Constitution is sacred. It's been there for centuries. It's upheld our entire country. And we need to, my job is to uphold that. It is not to change it. Our laws do provide for a way to make changes, but it is